Welcome in everyone to RedRaiders.com. I'm Shannon Wilson and this is Zach Long, and today we're going to preview the Texas Tech football schedule. We'll bring you part one today and then part two tomorrow. Now Zach, let's get to it with the first two games.
Yeah, Shannon, you better hope Texas Tech is 2-0 at that point, because you have Central Arkansas, an FCS opponent, and then UTEP, and Texas Tech's not going to disrespect that FCS opponent in Central Arkansas, but you better hope they take care of business there on the home opener in front of a big crowd. As for UTEP, the Miners are in a rebuilding stage. They have a lot of room to make up. Just too many mismatches on paper when you look at this game. Other than the 10 p.m. start, I think it should be a pretty normal occasion, and Texas Tech should be 2-0 after those first two games.
And of course, Zach, the first real test will come with Arkansas on September 13th.
Yeah, I think that's what I call an HIG, a huge indicator game. You're going to know a lot about Texas Tech at that point. Arkansas has a lot of players back. Unfortunately, that's off a 3-9 team that was really just horrid at times last year. But they're an SEC school. They have a lot of talent back. And the key thing here, I think you're going to see where Texas Tech's run defense is. Arkansas has three outstanding running backs. That'll be a big test for the Tech defense. And simply put, Brett Bielema in Arkansas, that's not year one that they wanted to have. They have to get better in year two, and their schedule is just brutal this season. They've got that game marked down in Lubbock as one they can come in here and win and get some momentum building forward. And as for Texas Tech, you lose that game and your season could go in a completely opposite direction. That's a game they have to have against an old Southwest Conference rival. Should be a fun atmosphere in Lubbock.
Now, a more familiar rival is Oklahoma State. After a week off, Zach, the Red Raiders will open Big 12 play with them. And
that's a Thursday night game on national TV. And for some reason, Shannon, Texas Tech has not had a fun time with Oklahoma State in recent history. The games have turned out very lopsided. Mike Gundy has just got the better of Texas Tech on those occasions. This is a big game for Texas Tech. Oklahoma State by this time is going to have already played defending national champion Florida State. Red Raiders go up there on a Thursday night, national TV. They just have to do things the right way. The run defense is where it's going to fall onto. Oklahoma State has just cut through them the last couple years. If Texas Tech has that run defense shored up with those big junior college defensive linemen we've been seeing, Texas Tech could go into Stillwater and win that game, but I think it's going to be a tough one.
And then the next week, they'll roll right back around to Manhattan, Kansas to play a tough Kansas State team.
Yeah, Bill Snyder, once again, we don't doubt him because he just keeps winning football games, and he's got a good nucleus back, Shannon. They got Jake Waters at quarterback, Tyler Lockett, one of the best receivers in the country, one of the most dangerous return people. That game is in Manhattan, and it simply just comes down to this. You can't make mistakes against Kansas State. They make a living off of it. The Red Raiders have to go up there and be pretty flawless on offense. Don't turn the ball over, and they'll have a great chance to win that game. But once again, that's a two straight tough road tests with Oklahoma State and Kansas State.
And then they'll come back home on October 11th for West Virginia. Zach, what should we expect?
Well, West Virginia and Dana Holgorsen, we all love Dana Holgorsen, but he's under a little bit of pressure this year. West Virginia is going to have to produce. Clint Trickett going to be their starting quarterback. He's stuck with him through the offseason, the former Florida State kid. They're going to go with him, and they've got some talent that's coming in, especially at the running back slot. They're going to be more dangerous, but last year I thought Tech and Cliff Kingsbury really had Dana Holgorsen's number. That was a mismatch at time, and I think the offense really rolled against them. That would be I think that's a tough thing for Dana and West Virginia to come in here and beat Texas Tech. Should be a good home crowd. Red Raiders need to get that one.
So what is the worst case scenario at this point of the season?
Well, I think the worst case scenario would be 2-4. You win those first two games, and then, let's be blunt, the run defense isn't where it needs to be. Maybe the young quarterback, Davis Webb, has some struggles. You don't know what goes on, and you get embarrassed by Arkansas in their running game, and then you go into two places where you're going to have to play an A-level game in Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Things don't go well, they could be 2-4.
So how about more positively? What would be the best case scenario?
Well, I mean, obviously the best case scenario would be 6-0, and they can do that. I think that is a possibility. I mean, the offense at times has looked really good in the spring, and we've seen them a few times in the fall very strong, and it's hard not to get caught up in their energy with that defensive line and some of the bigger kids, and even the offensive guys. Jared Castro, the center, has told me they're going to be much better. The defense is much better. Y'all aren't going to believe it. So if that's the case, they could be 6-0.
Realistically, Zach, where do you think they'll be?
I think 5-1 is where it's going to be. I think between Oklahoma State and Kansas State, those are two tough road games. Kansas State, I think they can get it done against. Oklahoma State is the team that scares me. Tech has just played horrid against them the last few years. I think that's a tough place to win. I think that could be a loss right there. But if they come out of there 5-1, they're still in really good shape.
And that'll wrap up our look at the first half of this schedule. Of course, you can check out RedRaiders.com for all your Texas Tech football information. But for now, we bid you farewell. I'm Shannon Wilson. This is Zach Long, and you are on RedRaiders.com.